Hey folks, Landon Rivers here. Just a little supplemental video before we get started with the levels. I want to cover some techniques that you'll want to keep in mind throughout your runs. I'm going to cover proper movement, the false crouch glitch, attack patterns to use and avoid, and finally, how to exploit the revival mechanic. First up is how you should be moving during a speed run. You control the turning of your character through your camera controlled by your mouse, but how you move your camera makes a difference. If you look at this character, when I turn them with a smooth movement, their animation sometimes gives into a walking animation, and for that instant, they walk a little slower. Compared to if you move your camera in short bursts, their animation never changes from running, and no speed is compromised. I did a little experiment to exaggerate this by running around a circuit in Divided City. It turns out you go around 5% to 8% faster if you use this technique of turning in short bursts. That's an extra 8 seconds every 100 seconds, and every second counts. So you'll be doing lots of thinking in trajectories, but you'll get used to it and you'll be helping your run more than you imagine. On the note of movement, you need to learn how to jump effectively. Jumps can come out at different heights in this game, and if you end up doing a short hop instead of a high jump like you meant to, it could totally kill your run. So what causes it? I found that it all lies, once again, in the movement of your mouse. If you move your mouse even slightly before a jump, it will cause your character to short hop. Only by eliminating any turning before a jump will you be able to pull off that awesome high jump. In some cases, if you jump while hugging a wall, it can launch you even a little higher and more reliably. In short though, keep the mouse still right before you jump. Next, I'd like to talk about the false crouch stance. Normally, if you need to enter a low area, you would press and hold the crouch button and your character would slowly crawl through the area. There's an exploit I found where if you have a melee weapon out and press and hold the crouch button while that weapon is swinging, the game will register the variable of your character's height to be that of crouching, but you'd actually still be standing up and running as normal. This allows you to breeze through tunnels and cramped spaces with ease and no loss in speed. Let's discuss yet another mechanic which has caused a bit of frustration in runs, which is attacking and landing attacks. So it's best we understand how it works. There are 5 attack patterns in Enclave as it relates to the main melee weapons. There's a 3-hit slower neutral combo which activates when standing completely still. There's a 3-hit running combo when you're moving forward with an axe or hammer, and it's 4 hits with a sword. This combo could also be activated by just tapping forward while attacking. There's also a 1-hit combo to the left and the right, and a 1-hit downswing to the back. You'll find yourself using the running combo most of the time, but bear in mind that if you are running up a hill or an incline, you will instead do a 1-hit combo. You must be on a flat surface or going down for the running combo to activate while moving forward. You can also maintain the running combo while jumping, otherwise a regular jump attack will only do 1 strike downwards. The big piece of combat which has frustrated people are the hitboxes of melee weapons. As it turns out in this game, the hitboxes are actually perfect, in that they are perfectly wrapped around the blade of a sword or axe. But this isn't necessarily a good thing, because we are beholden to the attack animations. Attacks can whiff over heads if you're not positioned correctly, or if you're just too tall. This doesn't mean swing wildly though, for there is a method to the madness. The animations are static, so some attacks will always land in the same place. Try and play around using a visual cue, like an imaginary targeting reticle, to try and make your life a little easier. Finally, I'd like to share the main reason runs are performed on the easy difficulty. On most levels, you'll find checkpoints you can activate, and if you die on another difficulty, the level will be over. If you die on easy, you'll respawn at the checkpoint. There's 2 ways this can be exploited. If you hit a checkpoint in an area which you know you'll need to return to later, then why not head far into where you need to, get killed, and jump back to your original spot? This helps save some significant time on travel. The other way to exploit revival is less apparent. When you die, there's a black screen and a cutscene with your revival. It takes about 2 to 3 seconds for this to transpire. However, you can spam the enter key to skip the cutscene, but the game will still have advanced 2 seconds. This means that if you ever find yourself in a level where you need to wait for something to trigger, you can try dying a few times to advance the time of the game and reach the trigger sooner. This is especially helpful when fighting Mordessa in Jasindra, because the last part of the level always requires you to wait for the final trigger to fire. The checkpoint is right next to the boss, so letting her kill you several times is actually a good thing. That's it for the basic tips and tricks you'll be using throughout the run on many or all of the levels, and you might be using some of these techniques when researching a new route or skip in the game. So practice that execution and save those seconds. In the next video, we'll finally begin the game starting with level 1, Imprisoned. This is Landon Rivers. See you there.